everybody! I have a new filming setup. And by new filming setup I mean I've moved my desk slightly so the light is better. I also have a new cup. It says Lemon Baby because I like lemons and I am a baby. So this is chapter 5 of Littleland. Let's get into it. Peppa's here with me. She's gonna listen to the story. Up, up, up. You know what up means. You know what up means. Up. Peppy, up. Good girl. Good girl. She's a cuddly dog and I love her. We filmed part of the second Little Science today and Peppy was very excited. She couldn't stop being excited. You'll see in the video. Okay, off. Good girl. Gotta read my friends a story now. Okay, so this is chapter 5. Finesse cried through being rubbed dry. She cried as she was carried out of the bathroom. And she cried as she was carried down the hall. Just like the previous journey. Miss Mia held her close and whispered small comforts. Don't worry, honey. You're going to be just fine. That's it. I'm so proud of you. You're being so brave. The last one caught Finesse's attention. I'm not being brave, sobbed Finesse. I'm crying like a baby, murmured Miss Mia gently. Yes, wailed Finesse. Like a very brave baby, agreed Miss Mia. This is a big, scary, new place, but you're trying your best. So yes, you are being very brave. They had entered a room. Finesse's tears had tapered off to a gentle, silent trickle. Okay, sweetheart, said Miss Mia. I'm going to need you to be very brave right now, okay? Finesse's stomach turned. The warning did not bode well. She looked around her, and her stomach turned several more times in rapid succession. Before her was an enormous changing table, underneath which was a rainbow of folded plastic. A row of small rubbish bins lined one wall, and a bank of sinks lined the opposite. As they approached the changing table, Finesse whimpered, but she was in no way ready for what was about to happen, and she had just noticed that this changing table appeared slightly different to any changing table she'd seen before. For one, it was the correct size for her. For two, it had 2 metal rings mounted into the headboard. For 3, from the metal rings dangled what looked like pastel yellow mittens, with large buckles at the wrists. Finesse realized what those mittens promised as she was set down on the changing pad. Immediately, she made a move to leap off the table and away to freedom. There was no way Finesse was about to voluntarily be strapped into those mittens. Miss Mia caught Finesse mid-leap, just as she'd noticed exactly how tall the table was. Finesse let out a startled little squeak. Young lady, said Miss Mia, low and even, I want you to listen to me very carefully. Miss Mia crouched down to Finesse's eye level. That was very unsafe. You are much smaller here. You could get very hurt if you tried to jump from all the way up there. Finesse took a shaky breath and gave a little nod. You will be in very big trouble if you do something that dangerous ever again. Do you understand? Yes, ma'am, said Finesse in a small voice. Miss Mia nodded. Okay, good girl. I don't want to be tied up, said Finesse. It's only for the first few changes, honey. Just until you're used to it. I'll be good, I promise. You don't need to tie me up, implored Vanessa, who was feeling again that this might be more than she was able to absorb. It's not about you being a good girl, darling. It's about keeping you safe and keeping your hands out of the way, said Miss Mia. I think you've just proved that we need these, at least for now. Miss Mia gently maneuvered Vanessa onto her back. One by one, she guided Vanessa's shaking hands into the mittens, which she fastened around each wrist. Vanessa still had a small range of motion, but she was unable to bring her hands any lower than her shoulders. She felt trapped and vulnerable. I haven't locked these now, she said. I trust you to keep them on. Vanessa sniffled, attempting to wipe her tear-streaked face on her outstretched forearm. Okay, she said, not overly comforted by the absence of locks. Such a good girl, said Miss Mia, smiling warmly. Now, let's get you into your very first diapers. Miss Mia spent a few moments gathering materials, which she set upon a small table that sat next to the changing pad. A large lump formed in Vanessa's throat at the mention of the word diapers. Don't worry, darling, said Miss Mia, while she retrieved the necessary items from various shelves and cupboards. I know you're scared, but you don't have to do anything, she said, as she set down a bottle of powder. Miss Mia also had something else that Vanessa couldn't register until Miss Mia had brought the soft rubber nipple to her mouth. Startled, Vanessa parted her lips readily, and Miss Mia slid it gently inside. Vanessa made a muffled noise of surprise and distress. That's it, there's a good girl, said Miss Mia cooingly, stroking her hair as the warm liquid began to trickle into her mouth. The overwhelming taste of sweet vanilla flooded her taste buds, and she let out a little whine. Mm-mm, said Miss Mia gently, guiding the teat back into the little girl's mouth and giving her the bottle to hold. You just relax and let me take care of everything. Miss Mia punctuated that sentence with a grasped hand around Vanessa's ankles, which fit easily inside one of the larger woman's hands. Miss Mia lifted them to expose her bottom. Vanessa gasped and sharply turned her head in a futile attempt to hide her face. She kicked her legs a little, desperately trying to regain some dignity. No kicking, little one, said Miss Mia, giving Vanessa a gentle warning tap on the bottom. The strike was not painful, but it did serve to further remind Vanessa of her current situation and the vulnerability that went with it. It seemed to say, do it again, and you'll get a real one. She stopped kicking her legs and closed her eyes, focusing on the warmth of the liquid she was drinking. Good girl. First, we're going to take your temperature, okay? Vanessa's eyes snapped open when the implications of that sentence hit her. At the same time, she felt Miss Mia's hand delicately spreading her bottom cheeks apart. Vanessa's eyes widened, and she jerked backwards, her legs falling from Miss Mia's grasp, and the bottle falling to the floor. Vanessa froze in place, her lower lip trembling. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, she said tremulously. I was just startled. I understand, honey, said Miss Mia, stooping to retrieve the errant bottle. Slowly, Vanessa slid down the changing table and laid prone. Miss Mia smiled kindly at her, replacing the bottle between Vanessa's mittens. There's a good girl, she said. This is gonna feel a little funny, okay? She warned, once again lifting Vanessa's legs into the air to expose her behind. But I promise you'll get used to it. Used to it? Vanessa mumbled past the teat, anxiety swelling in her chest as Miss Mia began to rub a single finger, slick with lubrication, around her bottom hole. As the anxiety swelled, as did a funny little ache in the pit of her stomach. Miss Mia hummed her affirmation. Yes, you'll be having your temperature taken every day at afternoon change time. Miss Mia withdrew her finger. Vanessa squeezed her eyes shut and tried to prepare herself for what was to come. Miss Mia gently pressed the tip of the glass thermometer against Finesse's back entrance, and gradually it slipped inside. Vanessa whimpered as the cold rod plunged deep inside her. With one hand, Miss Mia cupped Vanessa's bottom, holding the thermometer firmly in place. "Good girl, you're so brave," said Miss Mia soothingly, and Vanessa gradually ceased her discomforted wiggling as she became accustomed to the intruder in her bottom. Miss Mia gave her a soft pat on the backside and removed the thermometer. Vanessa's first temperature reading complete, Miss Mia retreated to rinse the small glass instrument in the nearby sink. "I'm very proud of you, honey," said Miss Mia, having returned from the sink and now beginning to unfold the stark white disposable diaper, which she placed on the changing pad. Vanessa, a mess of swirling emotions, didn't respond. "Up we go," murmured Miss Mia, lifting her ankles into the air. She swiftly slid the diaper under the girl's backside and lowered her bottom onto the soft cotton lining. The sweet ache in Vanessa's stomach grew. It only intensified as Miss Mia brought the front panel up between her legs and taped each side securely. Vanessa sucked hard at the teat in her mouth, desperate for any distraction to the emotions swelling inside her. She felt her mittens being unbuckled and a set of hands under her arms, which lifted her into a sitting position. The diaper was thick and pillowy, the cotton filling soft against her bottom. The bottle was removed from her mouth, and Vanessa let out a small, involuntary whine in response. Predictably, as with the train and the playpen, the teat in her mouth had become a source of comfort to her. Her window for complaint was short, however, as she was soon dressed in a pastel pink bodysuit. A pair of white socks were placed on her feet, and a large pacifier was placed between her lips. Vanessa was grateful for the pacifier. It hid a significant portion of her face from view. Vanessa, dressed for bed in her first diaper of her stay, was lifted from the changing table. "I'm so proud of you, honey," said Miss Mia, who cradled her. Vanessa closed her eyes and burrowed close into the warm embrace from the equally warm maternal figure who held her. As her anxiety settled, she wondered for a fleeting moment if this next month would be as bad as she originally thought. That's the end of chapter 5. See you guys next Tuesday for chapter 6. Bye everybody. Sleep well.